Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-July 2024 love reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's why I call it Bridging the Gap Spread. And the way it works is a look at the past, present, future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get the roll out, we'll pull some more cards as well for some additional insight. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right is the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Four of Cups. So this is actually Cancer energy here. So some of you could just be pointing to the timeline, saying that as we've been in Cancer season, maybe you've been feeling this way. But beyond that, I feel like this is saying primarily that you might feel like the emotional element within the connection with this person is lacking, and there could be some disappointment around that. But at the same time, I don't feel like you're directly communicating that to this person. So you could just be feeling in the stage where maybe, let's say, if we look at our surroundings, they look like materially they're pretty good, right? So maybe you're in one of those positions where you're like, okay, yeah, maybe they're good providers on a financial level, but when it comes to the more emotional side of things, you might feel like there's a lack there, and maybe you're trying to figure out what you want to do about it. All right, past energy on their side, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is very independent energy, and what sticks out to me with the artwork in this particular deck, though, is we see the person off to the side there, and it looks like they're looking over at that couple. We see these beams of light almost pointed in their direction too. So I feel like it's one of those things where maybe they are usually pretty independent, but now maybe around them they're starting to see more couples, and they might be reevaluating, is that more of a path that they would like to go down or not. All right, present energy on your side, we have the Eight of Staves. So this is Sagittarius energy here. Big contrast to this energy. I feel like this is saying that for some of you might actually start to be more communicative with this person, maybe more direct about what you would like to see out of the connection, right? Or maybe even, it doesn't necessarily have to be in a critical way. You might not be critical of their lack of emotional energy they're putting into the connection, but you might even just try to bring it about in a more fun way, right? Like try to organically get them to participate more in the connection. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Tower. So yeah, for some of you, this might be in the more negative sense, right? So for example, if you do try to get more energy out of them because they might be on a more of independent kick, they might feel like that's just more of a distraction from their overall goals, which would most likely be financial in that regard, right? So they might lash out around that. Or for others, you could be in a more positive sense where, because they might be reevaluating that if they have been typically a lot more independent and now they're reevaluating like, okay, would I actually like to give more energy to my connection, then that could throw you for a loop there too. So really could go either way. Seeing what I see in the future on their side, it looks like it's probably more of the second scenario, but obviously for some of you it could be the first thing. All right, future energy on your side, we have the Two of Arrows. So yeah, this is an energy here that usually points to trying to make a decision around the situation. So for example, like I said, it looks like in the past there was a disappointment around as far as the emotional element of the connection. It looks like you tried to make an effort to repair that, but things might not be getting quite back on track the way you thought, right? So maybe you're trying to reevaluate, or you will in the future, if you want to continue with the connection or not. And if that's the case, I feel like this is saying with the artwork here that you might just get a lot of guidance through signs, synchronicities, possibly even within dreams. So be on the lookout for that. All right, and future energy on their side, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So yeah, if we look at the artwork here, well, for one, we see the Nine of Pentacles in the past, we see the Tower, and then we see the Eight, right? So it's a reduction as far as the number of pentacles, but I feel like this could be them consciously making an effort to do that, right? Where, like I said, maybe they're very career focused, for example, but maybe they're coming to a realization like, hey, maybe I could take a slight step back as far as how much energy I give to my career, but then also be able to give a lot more energy to my connection, right? Because we do see the pentacles are still strapped across his chest, but we do see, obviously, it looks like they're having a fun time, right? It's a very playful energy. So I feel like this is them adjusting and saying that, yeah, okay, I don't have to completely abandon one area of life or the other, and they're finding a balance that works for them. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Seven of Arrows. So yeah, so to me, Seven of Arrows can point to deception, but here, if we look at the facial expression of the person walking away with the arrows, they don't look necessarily all that happy, right? So I feel like in this sense, it was more of a situation where, again, like I said, maybe you were bottling up these issues for a while to where, you weren't feeling the fulfillment, but for whatever reason, you weren't communicating that for a while. And like I said, it looks like you'll probably come out on the other side of it, but you might still feel the energy come up to the surface time every now and again, especially around the full moon that we'll have in Aquarius. And that'll be in late July, by the way. And then bottom of the deck on, August, I should say, not July. So yeah. And then bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Eight of Swords. So yeah, for some of you, they might have even felt, depending on what happened in the present, as far as like if you directly confront them about, hey, I'd like you to put more time and energy into the connection, they might actually go through a phase initially where they might think that you're just leaving a connection behind altogether, right? So yeah, I feel like maybe this could just be an element of miscommunication with the Mercury retrograde energy that we'll be dealing with in early August. So it could just be one of those things where, they might take it as a bit more of an extreme thing on your part, where you're probably not saying, hey, I want out of the connection altogether, but you're just trying to tell them to contribute more. But obviously, from what we see here, it looks like they will come out on the other side of that. And yeah, and then for some of them, it could just be a shock to their system too, right? Because like I said, if they always have traditionally been very independent, very career focused, and now all of a sudden they feel this shift in their energy where they want to give more energy to their romantic connection, then that could throw them for a loop too. So that's what I see with that. All right, moving on to your Oracle cards. First, let's see what we get from the Messages of Oracle card deck. Just going to pull a single card from this deck. Got one there. Okay, and then next we'll pull a card from the Wisdom Oracle deck. Same situation, just going to pull a single card, and then we'll read the messages from both cards and wrap the reading up with that. Alright, and that then won't go back in the deck. So let's see what we got from Messages of Love first. Okay, we have acceptance. Everything happens for a reason. So yeah, not the deepest of messages, right? But I feel like this could just be saying that, especially if there is a tower moment between the two of you in the present, right? In the present, rather, I feel like this is saying, just okay, try not to panic about it and understand that, okay, maybe that needed to come to the surface, right? Whether it was your frustrations finally coming out in a way that didn't come across the way that you were hoping, right? Or even on their side, if they just view the changes they're going through as a shock to the system. I feel like this is saying, just try to be patient, ride the waves, which makes sense. Like I said, we're going to have that Mercury retrograde early in August. The shadow period's already about to start in a few days, and then, as we get toward the end of August, we'll start to see that energy lift. All right, and we have from the Wisdom Oracle message in a bottle. There's the artwork. And let's see what that has to say. All right, the relationship message says you can expect someone to favor you with positive news. This could be in the form of a letter, phone call, or email. You are the intended receiver of this message, so stay open to what you learn. Only good will come of it in the end. The signs are all there. So yeah, definitely, like I said, for sure, especially if you guys do go through a tower moment, I feel like that's definitely a good thing to keep in mind. Where, like I said, maybe it's one of those things where, okay, eventually cooler heads will prevail, right? After a little bit of time for them to reevaluate the situation. Looks like they're definitely going to be willing to put in more work toward the connection. And just looking at that card too, the fact that it represents the beginning of a Virgo season, for some of you could just be saying that maybe it'll take until around the end of August to really see that energy take off. But hopefully that resonated for you guys to wrap up there, and we'll see you all next month. All right, bye.